Hello everyone, my name is Kate and welcome back to Lost in My Library. So this video is very late. It is my June or my May wrap up. I don't do June TBRs, but I will discuss what I am currently reading and what I've already read for the month of June. So in the month of May, I read 2 books. The first book I read was A Darker Shade of Magic. I heard about this on BookTube a lot when I first started watching it, and I was like, I need another fantasy series to get into. And so I picked up this book and I fell in love with it. It's just what I needed because I love London and it's set in London, and I fell in love with Kel. I like Lila. I don't see why people really hate Lila as much as they do. That's my problem. I called a few things. It took The Walking Dead way of thinking that if you got a scene and you're not Lila or Kel, you're going to die. If you're not a main character, you're going to die. It's basically what it took. The Walking Dead approach, and it had my least favorite trope. It has my pet peeve in it, and that's a con for me, and I can't. It makes me mad that it did what it did. It feels like a singular book. Like, this is it. This is all you're gonna get. This isn't a part of a trilogy. This is a single book. But there's 2 more books after this, and I have no idea what the next 2 are going to be about, because I have a sort of an idea because of something mentioned in this book, but I don't know. And I don't understand why people hate Lila as much as they do. I guess I have to read A Gathering of Shadows too, which I don't own yet. I'm gonna wait out on that one. So then the next book I read was the role for pick a book on my child bookshelf, and I have like 20 over 20 books in the Babysitters Club series. So here's the first book. It's called Christy's Great Idea, and the series, if you don't know about it, it's set in Stony Brook. It's about these 4 girls who babysit, and they're like, hey, let's form a club where we get together every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, where people reach 4 babysitters at once, which is actually a really good idea. Well, it's actually a really good idea when you sit down and think about it. But it's surprisingly talks a lot about different things. This was written in like the late 80s. This was published in the late 80s, I believe. Like 86, I think, was when this was published. Yeah. And it talks a lot about like weight issues and diabetes, like having illnesses, which you might have thought was anorexia at first, but it's not. It's just her having diabetes, you'll find out. There's Asian diversity, so I think it's her. I think that's Claudia right there. Her parents were originally Japanese, so she's a Japanese American. So we have some Asian rep in this book series. There's talk about divorce and parents getting remarried and losing a parent and having problems with your parent. Like, there's so many things just talked about in this one book that is 153 pages. There's so much going on in this book for 153 pages. Writers, take a page out of this. So my next role was to pick a favorite book from Booktuber's month book from favorite book of the month. I couldn't find their favorite book of the month, so I chose their other 5-star read, which was a Harry Potter book. So I reread Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. 5 out of 5. It's great. We all love Harry Potter here on BookTube. It is what it is. Sorry. And then my next role was, I say role, spin, roll, whatever, was a friend pick. And so I asked my friend Megan to pick a book, oh, well, you can kind of see it, from my bookshelf. And she knew I wanted to read this really, really badly. And so I'm currently reading, ignore this, Ahsoka, which is based off of my favorite Star Wars character, and the book is so good so far. Oh, man. She's a queen. Her name is Ahsoka Tano. She is the former Padawan of Anakin Skywalker, aka Darth Vader. And this is set between Star Wars The Clone Wars cartoon and Star Wars Rebels, the cartoon. And this is just telling us what she was doing. How did she survive the Order 66? How did she survive it? What was she doing? Where was she at this time? Why wasn't she fighting against the Imperials at this time? Where was she hiding? You know, whatever. It's a lot of stuff. Currently, she's in hiding. And I kind of want to find out how her lightsabers, that's the one thing that I really, really want to get out of this book, is her lightsabers. Because she is the only person to have white lightsabers. So, she is neither Jedi nor a Sith. She is in the middle. She uses the Force, but she's neither Jedi, neither a Sith. And I've been trying to figure out whether or not I could classify her as an anti-hero. But I think she's still a hero. I think she's the neutral hero, if that makes any sense. I just need more. I need more of Ahsoka. I need to know more. Because there's things I'm like, where was she in a lot of other things? Like Star Wars Rebels. Where was she? When she was saved by Ezra. Like, where was she this whole entire time? And then she shows up at the very end, and you're just like, where have you been? And like, you don't know. Because she don't tell you. And she just shows up at the end. And you're like, hi, where have you been? And that's what I also want to know. But I know this book's not going to give it to me, because this book was written before that finale came out. So, and this book's just giving me information up to Star Wars Rebels. hopefully it gives like a little bit about like how she became Fulcron and how she got like start helping with the rebels, and what was her whole deal, like what made her start helping the rebels, because I feel like she needs a little bit of a push to help people sometimes, when things seem very, very hopeless, in her situation, because she was like, in this book, she was like, I could just leave, and go somewhere else where the Empire's not at yet, and set up shop and like live my life and not be bothered. But she was like, no, not doing that again. I'm staying and I'm helping these people out, getting the Empire out of here. So there's that. I really want to know about these lightsabers, because like she hasn't used them yet. She's mentioned her lightsabers, but she hasn't mentioned that they're gray instead of green now, since she's not a Jedi, nor is she a Sith. There's a whole video about explaining like the different colors of a lightsaber. I'll link that in the description, so if you're actually interested in how the different colors and what they mean, I will link that in the description. And that's it. That's what I'm reading. I only read one book at a time, so that's why I don't do a TBR. And yeah, this week has sucked on reading and vlogging. So this week we'll have no vlogs, but I will upload last week's here pretty soon, and then I'll get this video up. Alright, thank you guys for joining me, and I will get back to reading and getting lost in my library. Bye guys.